Okay, let's bring our bit back and let's just have the zip flat, yeah, as we sewed it. And then we get this piece, which remember I did do a backing on it, but you don't have to, that's entirely up to you. And I want, that's the top, that's the front, and I want the elasticated pocket to be the opposite side of the front. So then what we need to do, well, I suppose the easiest thing to do would be to just pop it in half and get our centre mark. Yep, same with the bottom. Get our centre mark and then put that to our centre mark on the zip, and again pin, pin, pin. Alright, now you don't have to worry too much about this, because remember that zip's not going to move now. Okay, so just pin it on, making sure our ends. See, every time I put a pin in anything I stab myself. Right, so we're just literally making sure that everything matches up, including those corners. Alright, and this is kind of the easy bit now, and exactly the same on this end, so match the middles with that middle line, keeping your zip flat. And your corner, keeping that flat. I hope you can see my hands. Oh, see? And this end should match that end. Yep. Keep everything flat, keeping that. I'm going to put another pin in there because that zip don't want to sit down, but it's going to. Right. Let's do the end first. And that corner. Two on that corner. It does not want to sit down, does it? But it will. Because I said so. Ow! Ow! I just caught myself again on that pin. I am a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. With pins. Righty-ho. Now, what we're going to do is turn it over, because this will make it easier. Alright? Turn it over. And what we want to do is, I would do it from this side because it's easier to see. Where are we going to start? Let me think. Should we start there or there or there or there? I think we start here, actually. Maybe. Yeah. Ow! What do I want left open in the end? Trying to think. Let me have a quick look at my book. No, no. I do want to open, otherwise I won't get my hands through. Right. Forget that. So we're starting exactly. So we're doing exactly the same, but from the reverse side. Okay. And we're just sewing literally around the outside of our seam allowance, where the what's this called? Fusible fleeces. Okay. Right. Back from the machine, and I literally just sewed all around the edge, and you're going to find out so much easier now because the zip can't possibly move, and this is the the pockety bit. So now what we need to do, and I might just make a few, I just want to get rid of anything bulky and allow it to turn nicely. So a few little snips. Now we're going to turn it and keep all our fingers crossed that we've done it correctly. And we've got the beginning of a really nice bag, hopefully. Where that came from. Right, yay, 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 yay. Right, so, yep, let's bring this corner out. I am gonna, just go up and poke that corner out. Yep, so that's that side, and then on the other side, yay, look, we've got our lining put in. So this is going to become our bag, yeah, with pockets and what have you. Now, what do we do next? Now, remember we had to cut some smaller pieces of fabric. We're going to want those in a moment. I'm just going to see which way. I've got to look at my book and see which way I've got to fold them again. I think it's that way. In fact, I put money on it, it's that way. I got a cut in there, but that's not going to matter because this is going to get doubled up. So I'll just make sure that that ends up on the back. Okay, and we need to turn it. So give yourself a couple of fingers worth, and you're going to sew from there down to the edges, double stitching on all the edges on both of them. Right. The very next thing we need to do before we go adding some more pieces and putting the zip back together is to top stitch around the outside to make sure that these bits don't ride up and get in the way of the zip. So let's go and do that. Yeah, I got. Oh, I got my ordinary foot back on now. Obviously we need to start down this end. Still using white, and I'm going to move my stitch length to 3, and again about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Okay, so you can see I've top stitched around that side, and now I'm going to do exactly the same with the other end. Okay, so now you can see I top stitched around the other end, which then means that on the inside, you see, that keeps that nice and neatly down away from the zip all the way around, so the zip is not impeded by any material going to get caught in the zipper ends. All right? Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere now. Let's get rid of a few loose bits. Come on. I've been using white cotton on here because I want you to see it. But you would, if I was doing it and it wasn't for show, I would probably, on this particular bit, put pink in the bottom so it didn't show. And I would probably do the dark green or something, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're all a go-go now and we're ready to go back and finish it off. Right, this is the fun part, putting the zipper back on now. I think it's going to be easier. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start this side. And we do, because we don't want to get any little bit of, I'm just checking my edges now, because I don't want to get any errant little bits of thread caught in the zipper. So I just checking my edges, okay? And we're inside out, so that means the zipper's got to be upside down. All right. Oh, here we go, girls. You ever done this? Right. So it's upside down. It's upside down, but it has to be the right way round, obviously. So I am just gonna pop one end in, and that's easy. Yeah. Then, ooh, so easy, it came back out. Pop one end in on a bit of an angle. Yep. Hold that firm, and then again at a bit of an angle, pop the other bit in as far as I can. It's not quite right, but as far as I can. Then, having got it like that, I am then going to hold, here we go, how do I do it? I can't remember now. I hold both those bits firm like that. Oh, I'm jiggling, it didn't work. I just cut my ends. Get one end in. Get the other end in. Get one end in. Jiggle the other end in, and keeping it all firm, just tickle, keeping it all firm, just tickle. You see what I'm doing? I was just jiggling, right? It's not quite right, but I'm going to figure that out in a minute. So I can start to do the zip up, yeah? Now what that will mean, basically, doesn't matter, because this is why I've made my zip far too long. Because, basically, when we do the zip up, yeah, it just means, don't pull it right off again, it just means that the other end doesn't quite match. But that doesn't matter, that's why we've got the zip far too long. Now I'm just going to bring that zip back again a bit. I know it's inside out, which is making it awkward, but I am just going to bring that zipper back to about there. Yeah, we are now going to flatten out our box pieces. Yep. Now, so obviously where that tag is the middle, and you should be able to see where your end bits are. So you're just trying to make this straight along the edges, yeah? And I mean, my zip seems to want to go, but it doesn't really matter, right? It's in, that's the main thing. Now, using clips, because I fed up with cutting myself with pins, right? So using clips, I'm going to clip that for a minute, and then I don't need all this excess now. Perhaps I should have pinned it. Yeah, let's go back and pin it. Just a minute, let's pin it, because there's something else I want to do before we go any further. So I am just going to make sure that's straight across the bottom. And I am just going to pin that a minute. Okay? And then making sure that I can still want a bit hanging out, don't get me wrong, for a minute, but I'm just going to cut off a bit of excess. All right, so that's that side. All right, then we need to now pull the zip right away down to the other end without coming off, and do exactly the same. Now I want to, for a moment, I want to pull the zip up to where I can see it to make this a nice cross on here. But when I go to sew it, I'll move that zip out of the way. Okay? And yet again, I've far too much zip here, so I'm just gonna cut off the bit I don't want, because that'll do. Now, before we go and sew that with 1/4 of an inch across, right, so this is the beginnings of our bag now, and before I go and sew that and that, what I want to do is take these, remember we made these little thingies, and where we still got our opening, I got an opening, press that so well, can't find it, right, I still got an opening there, and I got an opening there, so take one bit, an opening, I'm going to stick underneath, now, let's do it so you can see it, I am going to make it equal distance to the edges of this bit here and here, but bring it in about 1/4 of an inch, yeah? This is difficult to pin, so I'm just going to put a clip on there, and a clip on there. Now, when I'm going to move the zip back so that, you know, but then keep these together, all right? And I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch seam across there, and exactly the same this end. There's the bit with the opening, so I'm going to plop it on about 1/4 of an inch, and I am going to clip that side and clip that side, yeah? And then when I go under the needle, I have to flatten all this down. When I go under the needle, you know, you're going to have to fiddle with it and make sure you've got those edges meeting nicely. And then I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch seam right across there. Okay, so they will be on the back a 1/4 inch seam there and a 1/4 inch seam there, yeah? And again, as I said to you, I'm going to move that zipper back but keep the ends nicely together as I do it. So I'm going to do that bit next.